All right, everybody, welcome to Minecraft 1.17, but it's on Java this time. We've got our first proper Minecraft snapshot, and it's got a whole bunch of stuff in it. We might not have the goats or the powdered snow, but there's so much that I'm probably going to break this into a few videos just so we can focus on one major topic in each one. And yes, I realize I'm still wearing my Halloween skin. That's not a crime. You'll never catch me, Copper. Right. Okay. So in this video, we'll be focusing on copper ore, all the way through the ingots to the blocks to the things that you could make. And now, when you're wandering around in caves or ravines underground, you can run into copper ore. You can mine it up as you would with, iron. And it seems to kind of occur at the same Y-level generation as iron ore. From my anecdotal evidence, kind of spectator moding through caves in this world, it seems to be a little more rare, but I don't know that for sure without checking the actual game code. But again, you'll find it when you're wandering underground. You can mine it, you get some copper ore, and then from there, well, you have to do the smelty thing. So let's take our copper ore and do the smelty thing. I don't know why I use that choice of words. And as a result, we get ourselves copper ingots, which you might be used to in various mods that utilize copper, which is pretty much every mod that adds ore generation, that you can make copper tools. You'll notice if we search copper here, there's nothing like that. It's all blocks, the ingot, and the ore. It is used in a couple other crafting recipes as well, though. But if we search sword or we search pickaxe, there's nothing new added there. Could potentially be added in a future snapshot. I know nothing about it, though. And I don't know, it'd be cool if it could be added as a smithing table, augment. Maybe you could do some alloying. Anyway, all wishful thinking, and I wouldn't expect it to happen. So from there, we'll grab some more copper out of the chest here. And as you would expect, you can go in a 3x3 here in the crafting table, and you'll get a copper block. We'll make a few more of those for now. And this is what it looks like from the get-go when you get it. And then the oxidation process can begin. We'll get to more of that in just a second. I feel like this is actually going to end up teaching a lot of kids and possibly parents who've forgotten their high school chemistry as to what oxidation is. The kid's going to be like, hey, why does the copper turn bluish green over time? And the parents are going to be like, I need a refresher course myself. Let's both look it up and relearn here. Anyway, from this, you can do other variations. So you can go do a 2x2 here, and you can get yourself some cut copper, which we should actually make a little bit more of, because you can only make stairs out of the cut copper. As you'll notice, if you search it up in here, there are no copper stairs that don't utilize the cut copper. They all have this grid pattern on them, and you'll also notice that all the slabs also require using the cut copper. So any further crafting you do requires turning it into the cut copper here. You can just do the default copper in block form. Also worth noting that it doesn't look like you can use a stone cutter, which, I mean, it makes sense. It's not stone, but, you kind of think about, these days, if I want to make stairs with a more hardy material other than wood, I'd use a stone cutter, but you can't because, well, it's not stone. It does make sense, actually. Okay, so these are the different steps in the copper oxidation process. There's 4 of them, starting with brand new here when you craft the block, moving on to the lightly weathered, then you've got the semi-weathered, and naturally weathered with the capital K at the end, right there. It's a snapshot. Don't worry about it. Now, every step of the way, I was actually really curious to hear about this, because in the time lapse that they showed during the Minecraft Live event when they revealed these, it seemed like it happened not super quick, but kind of quick. But it turns out that was sped up for the show. Every stage takes anywhere between 50 to 82 in-game days of a loaded chunk area to go from one stage to the next. So that means this full process here is anywhere from 150 to 246 in-game Minecraft days. Go ahead and do the math as to how much actual playtime that is in real hours. But, every Minecraft day is, like a 20-minute cycle-ish, somewhere in that ballpark. So a long time. I feel like these are going to end up being like a very valuable commodity to trade on servers just because of how long it actually takes naturally outside of creative mode to make this happen. Like, you have to have dedicated a lot of playtime to seeing this through in order to accumulate a lot of these. Well, that just depends, how many you place down in the beginning. But over time, people who are veterans on servers are going to have a lot more. The same process happens to any copper block that you place into the world. So here's the cut copper. If you put down a slab, same thing. Stairs, same thing. Every piece of copper that you place down in the world over time will end up oxidizing, unless you take your copper block and you apply some wax to it in the form of honeycomb, which is exciting. Another use for bees. This is great. I mean, obviously, if you don't play much on a certain world, then you're not really going to notice the oxidation in the copper. But if you just want to keep your build in a particular state, and it doesn't have to be fresh, shiny, and new, right? It could be the semi-weathered, right? Or it could be the lightly weathered. Obviously, there's no real point in applying the honeycomb to the fully weathered, because why would you bother? It doesn't go beyond that. So we can take this, we'll apply a honeycomb to it, and now we have waxed, lightly weathered copper. And if you place this down in the world, it's not going to, if we look at it for a minute here, it's not going to change. All right? Take my word for it. 82 days go by here. Now we're on day 83. It's still there. Wow, did you see? Time passed in the blink of an eye. It's crazy how that happens as you get older. Almost 30 years old here. There'd be a lot of oxidized copper in Minecraft time. Anyway, or you can do it to the brand new copper block, waxed copper. And this waxed copper here, it's not gonna oxidize. So I mean, if you get your build to a point where, say, you place down all the blocks and you want it to look like there's some randomization and you want to preserve it there, then it's time consuming, but what you could do is then you can take all those blocks and then wax them and put them back into their original state so that it preserves that, range across the spectrum of aging that you have on a building, rather than it all eventually just ending up looking like this. You might want to have something that has this sort of variety spanning across the structure. It could be cool to do. Or, in creative mode, you have access to all of them if you just want to do some building. But this is a way in survival that you have the ability to make it more permanent. There are also a couple of new items you're able to craft with the copper ingots. We'll look at one here, and the other will be in the next video. Speaking of the next video, if you're not already subscribed, you should totally do that so you get the next video. Did I mention we're sponsored by the like button? It's right below the video. It's been a great sponsor for a long time. The next video might actually already be up because they'll be up in close proximity to each other. I'll link it in the description if you're interested, if it is up. So anyway, you probably caught this if you watched Minecraft Live, or maybe my 1.17 recap video after Minecraft Live. But if you take 3 copper ingots, stack them like that in a crafting table, you get the lightning rod. And the goal of the lightning rod is to protect your structures against storms, lightning. If you're not someone who uses toggle downfall or weather clear even when you're in survival, like me. Maybe I won't now, though, but I don't like rain. I'm going to put the lightning rod up here, as they kind of demoed it in the unveil video, and it protects like a 14-block radius around here, so it should be enough to prevent my beautiful house from being decimated in... I can't believe I am about to do this. I'm about to do weather thunder. I am turning on rain and thunder. This is something that's never happened before, and we're gonna do. I can undo it soon, so that now, if there happens to be a lightning strike, which it's probably not just gonna happen out of nowhere, but if there was one, burn down this beautiful thing. Look, watch this. Okay, I'm gonna stand on top of the lightning rod, and let's accelerate the process a little bit. Wow, look at that. It just struck the lightning rod and didn't strike the house. I did test this earlier. If you do a summon, it doesn't exactly, it doesn't work the same way that, naturally generated lightning would. The naturally generated lightning, if it had the chance of hitting within a 14-block radius, would be attracted to the lightning rod. If I do a summon, well, it's just going to light my house on fire here. So it doesn't exactly work when you use commands, but you get the idea. If I do it here, boom, it's attracted to the lightning rod. You didn't hear it because my weather is turned way down. Otherwise, it's rough life out here. I can't. The video compression is just I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everybody, that this has happened. But we're gonna go back to weather clear now, because that's a better way to live. Anyway, rain in video games, right? So cool. My house didn't burn down because it had the lightning rod up top. Now, on top of just protecting your house, it can actually serve as a means to set off redstone. So when lightning hits a lightning rod, it emits a redstone signal. So if we do the same thing here, with this wired up to an RS Snorlax, it's an RS Snorlatch, then what happens is, that was weather clear, I meant to do a lightning bolt, then the light turns on. So I just have it set so that it's, you know, if this block receives an input, it'll permanently turn on the output until I reset it over here. We don't need to go into the redstone tutorial. I used to think I was smart for knowing this. Now, not so much. But just kind of a cool thing. So you can actually, if you want to wire your lightning rod up to a system like this, you'll be able to tell if it actually protected your house in the event of a thunderstorm, because even if you're out and about doing things, you're mining underground, you can come back, you'll see the light is illuminated, and it'll be like, oh, okay, cool. I guess it did the trick. My house would have been burned down otherwise, and what do you know? Because otherwise, if you're standing at your house and it gets hit by lightning, you're probably going to be there to react in time and prevent the burning down. So it's kind of for situations like this where it'd be a cool thing to have. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the summary of copper and what you can use copper for, outside of the one other thing that we'll get to in the next video, which again, I'll link in the description if it's out. So thanks for tuning in. It's a doozy of a snapshot, really exciting stuff for 1.17. And yeah, make sure to like the video if you liked, subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for the next video. Check the playlist in the description for more Minecraft update video content. Or I'll just actually, like, I'll put the next video over here when it's up as like an end card, so you can click it and go right to it if you want. Thanks so much for watching, and you'll never catch me alive, Copper. I'll never change out of this Halloween outfit. Okay, bye-bye.